Yeehaw. Hi everyone. I apologize for being late. I'm really happy to be live. I am just arriving at home, and you know what? I'm really blessed because it's about being impromptu, being in the good vibes, and I'm just going to check if I am audible and live in LinkedIn and YouTube. This session will last 30 to 40 minutes, and feel free also to go to my Go Brunch room, gobrunch.com/, refresh your brain. I'm going just to check if I am live and audible, and feel free to ask me any question, to say hello. Happy to welcome any audience. I am live and audible on LinkedIn. That Oops, sorry, I am amazingly live on LinkedIn. That's incredible. Thank you so much for being present live, and also the replay team. And as always, feel free to go to my Go Brunch room. I'm going to just hope that I will have any question or any engagement. This is my Go Brunch room. This is my Go Brunch. And so I'm happy to welcome you. And in my Go Brunch room, feel free also to comment and share on LinkedIn. I don't know. I was planning it 1 hour ago, but I had to reschedule it. So bear with me. I'm just going to check if I have any question. Yay! Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. So this session is especially for Amerindian culture. I'm not Amerindian, and at the same time, I'm really happy to to give you an overview about my experience, which is of course not the Amerindian experience. And I love so much because I don't know. I rather prefer to say that I don't know and to be curious and to be open, because there are incredible wisdom that they could let us know. Yeah, so I am not live in LinkedIn. It's okay. As long as it's in YouTube, feel free also to join my Go Brunch room. If you are in YouTube, I'm going to share at least on LinkedIn in my Go Brunch room. Bear with me because it is unexpected. LinkedIn Live is roasted, but I am in YouTube and also in my Go Brunch room. So here it is. So anyway, I'm going also to share the YouTube video link on here. Bear with me because I am navigating the unexpected struggles. So let me know in the comments, wherever you are watching this, probably in YouTube, if you have any question, also the replay team. And if you have any question as the replay team or live, feel free to ask them here in YouTube, or go join my Go Brunch room. So thank you so much for bearing with me. Refresh your brain. That's it. And so I am doing the best that I can to cope with life. We are already on the third and fourth minute, 5 minutes. And this was the text of my previous session, by the way, about horses, and was also talking about monkeys. So here we are streaming on live on my Google Room, and I am going right now to to present a song because I'm going to. You will be amazed about the fact that I can play the Inception out there and share my screen to my Suno account. And I was deciding to create two songs about Amerindian, collecting some information, and I might be wrong. So if you are part of an Amerindian tribe and you are not finding this information accurate, feel free to let me know because I'm really curious because I'm going only to play one of the two songs and I will see what's about because I'm discovering that at the same time as you. So I'm really blessed to see what's going on and then let me know what are your thoughts. And of course, this is refrench your brain. So at some point, I will introduce you some words in French about that. But at the same time, I'm happy to quote the song. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm a bit distracted, but I'm going right now to share you the song of that I generated. So I'm really curious about what's about. So let's hear the song. I'm really curious. So I'm really I don't know. Maybe the song was too long, or maybe but I'm really curious to know what is the second version then, because was not probably sharing the whole lyrics. But I'm going to play the other song and see if there are any any remark, um, any share about that. But this is just a song that I was generating in a hurry, like few minutes before my show. Like it's incredible what you can do with AI, but of course I need to check if it's accurate. But you know, I asked AI information. I asked AI to produce me a song, and of course it's micro rift, but it's really incredible. So let's play the second song, and then I'm going to give you some wisdom about the French part of Amerindian cultures. Of course, I don't know all the cultures, but I will do my best to give some words in French. Oops. That was a song that was cut. In every language, in every prayer, indigenous wisdom fills the air. Mountain children, earth and sky, ancient never die. So that's what was missing. I was having the limit of 4 minutes. So the Breakthrough Show Network, aka Jessica. Um, yeah, thank you so much. I'm happy. No sound when I was playing. I apologize for that. Um, I'm just checking in YouTube. That's really strange. Normally in YouTube, there is the song. So if I was not, if my song were not shared, I will post in the comments. So thank you so much, Jessica. I hope that you will benefit from my share. And yeah, so apologize. I am live. I am navigating to that. Yes, Jessica, thank you so much. No sound when I click play to the music. I apologize. Maybe I was forgetting to share my screen or the sound. I don't know. It is what it is. So as long as now I am audible, it's nice. So we are now at the 17 minutes of the song, and there are ways of pronouncing the names in English and ways of pronouncing the names of Amerindian cultures in French. So, by instance, I'm going now to share what are the main, let's say, 15 tribes in indigenous tribes of US and South America translated in French. Because maybe they will be the same noun because it's really indigenous nouns. But I'm really curious because now I'm going to share my French. Yeah. So here, for instance, you see in US English it's Apache, but in French Apache. Then I will say Arapaho, Blackfeet. That's in French Pied Noir. That's really interesting because Pied Noir is, I think, what we call about people from Algeria that were partaking in the war, I think. Pied Noir. Then Cherokee, Cheyenne. I think in English in US it's Cheyenne, but in French it's Cheyenne. Then Chickasaw, Chippewa, Choctaw, Comanche. So in English, probably Comanche, but in French, Comanche. And then Cree, Creek, Hopi, Iroquois. That's really interesting because I don't know how you pronounce it in English. I bet it could be Iroquois. I apologize. I have to put my battery. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I can find my charger and I'm going to plug. Of course, I have multiple minutes, but I don't want to be cut out of my battery. So, sorry for my mic. So here, for instance, maybe in English it's Iroquois. I don't know. Maybe it's another name in English, but here they said it in French. But in French is Iroquois, and then Lumbi, and then in English could be Sioux, maybe, but in French is Sioux. And I'm happy to in the replay team or in live. Let me know what are your thoughts. Going to share again. Thank you so much, Jessica, for joining from the Breakthrough Network. I still didn't make the amazing bells and whistles of the video that you shared to me, but I will mount it very, very soon. And so thank you so much, Jessica. Yeah, apologize for that again. So I can explain to you why when we chat next, If you have time, feel free to jump on my Go Brunch room and yeah, Cheyenne. Yeah, okay. Cheyenne. In French, it's Cheyenne. And Iroquois. Okay, it's the same in French. Is Iroquois. So that's really interesting. Thank you so much, Jessica. I'm really happy to discover about the cultures because I have no an anecdote because I cannot really, as I'm not an Amerindian, I always lived in Belgium, and but I can share to you very interestingly my first encounter about the Amerindian culture, and I can share my screen because it's amazing. It's a book that my French teacher gave to me to read 36 plus years ago. And there were many books like Brave New World, which is Le meilleur des mondes en français, and also books in French. But I'm really curious because here I'm going to share in Amazon the title in French. I don't know if they have it in French. Let's say I'm going to first share it in French. It's the title in French is "Un jour au soleil," which is literally the yell to the sun when you are provoking the sun, I think. And it's from Joyce Rockwood. There is a Joyce Rockwood homonym who is a health coach, but this is another person. Here I'm going to quote the book that I'm going to share my screen. Feel free also, Jessica, or everyone, to pop in my Go Brunch room and disrupt my flow. You can join by going to gobranch.com/refrenchyourbrain. I decided to have the link. Else, I'm going to share it. So here, L'un jour au soleil. And I'm going to translate to you the description in English. Of course, you can also find it in English. By in later, I'm going to give you the title in English. So here, Rain Dove is a little girl when is appearing the first insight. The first presage is like an insight from the spirits. There will be four, and they are promising that horrible events will happen. Rain Dove belongs to the people of Cherokees, and when the invisible fire arrives, it destroys all in its passage. Rain Dove and her tribes will succeed. Are they're going to succeed to survive despite the arrival of Europeans in their continent. So that's a youth book that's titled L'un jour au soleil from Joyce Rockwood. You see here the cover, it's a bit like it's not really a good picture. But then I'm going to give you, because I have also the Kindle version in that I bought, but it is in English. I was having the book in French many decades ago, but I lost it at some point in multiple moves. But here, To Spoil the Sun is the title of the book. So it is now going to I'm going to share it, and this is the cover of the book. And yes, I purchased it more than 5 years ago, by the way. And here I'm going to sorry. So to voice it, a classic about the devastation of smallpox is back in hardcover after many years. So you cannot imagine what is smallpox is like. It falls in everyone, and soon there is no one who can stand. It is like a fire that sweeps through the town, an invisible fire. People begin to fall with fever, and blisters rise on their skin and turn to running sores. and there is no way to give them comfort. It reeled at the force of it, horror struck, unable to imagine it. So it is the 16th century, and Randolph, a young Cherokee girl, lives in Mulberry Town. If things continue the way they always have, she can look forward to choosing a husband. Her grandmother advises picking a young warrior and raising a family. But after smallpox strikes, life for the people of the seven clans will never be the same. So it is an amazing story for reading age 12 to 18 years old. But of course, I am an adult child, so I can read it again, and this is really amazing. It's a book that really changed my life because it was about another voice than the voices, predominant voices that we were listening about conquistadors, and and so it was really amazing to see that. So I'm for this session, I would like to pay tribute for the indigenous people. And so, yeah, Jessica, it's challenging to understand different pronunciation, but you're out there doing the work. Yes, I'm doing the best, imperfectly, but I am, So in fact, I'm Amerindians, and I still don't know how each of, because it's like to say each clan, each cultures has the right to call their names, to call what is the names of their culture, to call the names of their languages. It's not to us, Europeans or people from US that are not indigenous, to assign, to label their language names, their tribe names. It's up to them and to let them choose. So I don't know, but for instance, uh, can we call them Amerindians? Can we call them natives? Can we call them indigenous people? I think it's to them to decide. And there was an anecdote a few weeks ago. I was seeing, and it was really mind blowing because someone told me, but what is the name of the street? Because it was not in the share. But there was a journalist in Canada. There was a street that was renamed to a street in an Amerindian tribe in Canada. And then the journalist said to the indigenous man, "Wow, this name is really difficult to pronounce. Um, how could I pronounce it properly, or and do I have the choice to pronounce it properly, something like that." And the native indigenous man told, you know what, it is the same as when we were taught as children how to pronounce your street in English, except that I will not punch you or slap you if you make a mistake. So that's like, wow. Because it was the case, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s, I think. The kids were really not good educated, and it was like too much harm. So I want to do the work in reconciling the cultures, to listen to the Amerindian people. And so To Spoil the Sun was in the 80s, in 88 or 89, I was reading that. And it was like one of the books that were allowing me to discover another narrative about Amerindian and Native people. So thank you again, Jessica. I think she says that I think Native American, Native people, and indigenous people are the go-to here in the US. For the most part, Indian isn't used much anymore. Yeah, I so agree. We were having in the 60s, 70s, with the Westerns and Indians, for instance. We were calling in French Indien, and also even peau rouge, sometimes Comanche, Apache, Sioux, but we were having a false narrative of them, because was like, as always, the narratives of, oh, we are the saviors, and oh, they are the wild people, the low people. But really, I think we were, the people at that time were low, and we are going trying, we were low, and we are going now to elevate to their level and to listen to them. We should listen more and more to them and to their wisdom, because they survived until now, despite our harm, also our decades and centuries of harm. And so it's good that finally we can listen to them and make peace. And one thing that I was really, to share a bit like my story. In 2020, during the pandemic, I was discovering creative mornings, and what was really wow amazing for me was that at the beginning of the creative morning, because during the pandemic, all the creative mornings were on Zoom, despite face to face. That's why I was discovering the creative mornings, by the way. Not only each chapter, because there are hundreds of chapters in US, in South America, and the worldwide. And nowadays, they don't have any more Zoom. They are live. Probably 5 or 10% of their shows are live, are on Zoom right now. But just to let you know that at the beginning, they were doing some land acknowledgement. So that was I was discovering in Creative Mornings US, and also in Creative Mornings in Australia and New Zealand, was a land acknowledgement. And so that's incredible, because that's realizing that the names that we see, the names of the countries, are the names, the narratives that we were taught by a system that was kind of oppressive. So it's good also to have the cultural aspect, and that the lands are not ours. The lands are given from ancestors and to our children. So so thank you so much, Jessica, for sharing. Feel free also to go to my Go Burns room also if you like. Going to just to check. Yes, here. So thank you so much for supporting me. I'm also happy to support you and to support indigenous people, indigenous human. So I think she says, I think if we can sit down in the table and not jump to being offended when people are making an effort to understand, the world will be a better place. Yeah, and that reminded me also these TV shows where we were showing, well, at some point, a French from France that went in some tribes in Amazonia, and they showed what happened in the world, and it was like, wow, that was incredible to see their reaction about that, about the 11th of September, about the 9/11, sorry, about Michael Jackson, about the bombs, the wars, and it was really incredible. So I want to share the fact that there is the Western world, the one size fits all, but I really feel that we should listen to people and connect and to unite. So I will probably will never say never, because in maybe it could happen in my life, but until now I don't feel like I will be able to do like some people, like Rendezvous en Terre Inconnue, meeting to the unknown land, where they were discovering incredible tribes, Aborigine or primitive and ancestral and indigenous people in their place, removing our shoes. I will be happy. But at the same time, I would be really happy also to make the bridge. Of course, here comes an interesting question, because the main language in this world is English. And so would I be interested to learn an indigenous language? Yes. I will be really probably not good at it, but I will do the effort. That's my share. And so that reminds me also, Stacy. Stacy was sharing that she was going to a session. I don't remember. I'm going to butcher the name, but no, I'm not going to butcher any name because I don't remember. But she was talking about a tribe that she's going to have a training and talk their own language. So I truly believe that. I wonder because as one of my reflection is that I can talk to them in English. I can talk to them in Spanish. Of course, Spanish is not my language, but it could be a language of harm. So I wonder if I would probably better to try to learn first their language and try, or to make gestures. Like the best gesture that exists, I think, it's the gesture of the smile, to have a smile, and the gesture of hugs and of appreciation. And by instance, in French, was an expression. Yeah, potawatomi. Thank you so much, Jessica, for remembering that, because and maybe I was not pronouncing it well, but potawatomi. But it's the way I pronounce it in French, because maybe it's potawatomi. I don't know. But it's really interesting, because I truly believe that the most beautiful language is the language of the non-verbal, because and of course it depends on cultures, because I remember that in some countries, in some cultures, this might not mean yes, this might not mean no, this might not mean super. um, and so maybe some people will not understand this, or they will be saying like, this could be like, oh, crap, stupid, zero, or it could be excellent. So it's really interesting about when we try to discover the cultures. That's why it's important to have guides, to be sure that we are not creating what I call in French un impair, which means diplomatic incident. So, do you know Darren Sprinkle? That was friends with Dorothy. Darren, I don't know. My memory. I know. Is it Diru? If it's Diru, because there was the pseudonym Diru, Droo. If it's Darren, yes. Yeah, but knowing is also an interesting thing. Yeah, Diru. Uh, yeah, Diru. Yeah. I know him. But knowing is a big word, you know. Do I really know Jessica? Do I really know Stacy? Do I really know Dorothy? We do I really know myself? That's also a powerful question. But of course, I know myself more than I know Dorothy or you or Stacy or Diru. But knowing is a big word. Yes, I know his presence. I know his energy. I know he's an amazing guy, as many people from your community. That's why I'm here, by the way. And so, so I'm really happy about languages, about cultures, and about discovering them. So I wonder if there is an initiative that exists, or that will exist, that will allow asynchronously, or live, or on asynchronous way, to connect with tribes all on the world, like maybe them having internet connection, and then sharing stories, and then sharing things in their own language, and then the guide is translating in English or in any language, and we can interact with them. we can speak in English or translate in Spanish or whatever, and the guy is translating in their own language, and then we can really find a connection, a link. I truly believe also that what is not known is not acknowledged, not in awareness, and so not cared, because if we don't know, we don't know. So there are probably still in the world dozens and dozens of tribes that are sadly in bad position because of the forest industry and agricultural industry, because when the forest cutters arrives, there is also the agricultors, there is also the gold miners, these people that are harvesting gold and destroying the nature and the environment, by the way. And so we need more to find a way to protect what is remaining, and to really advocate. There is a way to advocate without any violence, but at the same time, we need to be aware. So that's my call for protecting the last tribes that exist in this planet. And of course, to preserve them. But are we able to preserve them fully, or are we going anyway to have a transition phase where they will be going to online? But I was seeing also some TV shows talking about the fact that the youngsters were more in cities, and the villages were isolated, and so it's really triggering. So started studying Liquilla, the language of his native people. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Jika. I think we can together make a session dedicated for the indigenous and native people, and invite amazing people like CK, or like Teresa, or um, yeah, so thank you so much, Jessica. This was an interesting session. Of course, there was not so much French in there, but I advocate that we don't use anymore the words that we were using in the 60s, 70s. They are destructive. It's like not using the N word for people of color, not using the I know, but the words that are condescending, that are destructive, and to use their own words. It's up to them to tell to us what are their language names, what are their tribes' names, and to respect them. Also, for the fact that they were surviving and suffering also sometimes. So we have to restore and to restore humanity, and by giving them their place, their voices, their space, and their autonomy also, and their environment, to really respect their environment, which means to not cut and destroy their environment, the forest, then we can really restore humanity with a big H. So to avoid to call them what we called them before in French, like peau rouge, which is red skin, or Indien, because Indien, why do we call that them Indians or Indian? Because it's referring also to India, but in India we call them also Hindi. But of course, there are also people speaking Urdu and not only Hindi. So it's really to acknowledge the diversity of the cultures, and to not call them even Amerindian, but to really be precise, because it's about cultures and tribes, and they are having differences. So yeah, I'm really happy that you joined, and glad to chat with you indeed about that, about anything related to cultures. This is my jam, my joy, my awe, and my motivation about languages and about culture. So we are on the 25th minute, and I'm going again to share the Suno song for ending this session. From now on, I would like also to invite you to scan the QR code or to go to coffee.com/OliLyrics and to support me, buy me a coffee or hot chocolate. I am in the next days and weeks, I'm going to talk to you more about my offerings and about incredible opportunities for you to discover languages. So my name is Oli. You can also call me Ravioli if you want. I am living in Brussels and I speak French, English, Italian, and Dutch. And the reason that I say Dutch in the 4th position and not in the 2nd is because it's not a real language that I like, but I had to learn it, and I'm happy to learn it for human beings, not for the state or for the government, but for the human being. So, mijn naam is Oli. Ik heet Oli. Ik woon in Brussel. Ik ben 49 jaar oud. That means my name is Oli. I live in Brussels, and I'm 49 years old. And I'm learning languages. I'm also happy to speak Italian. Mi chiamo Oli. Abito a Bruxelles. Ho 49 anni e sono veramente felice di parlare italiano, è la lingua che mi piace tanto. So I can speak hours and hours in Italian, by the way. And so languages are my passion. So from now on, I'm going to go again to go to Suno to share to you again the song that I was sharing in the beginning. So bear with me. And sharing my screen. And then thank you so much and keep shining, everyone. See you tomorrow for another show, a show called Late. So here is the song, the short version, the long version. Let's stick to the long version because 4 minutes of pleasure is amazing.
From Cherokee Mountains to Navajo sand, where wisdom flows through every strand. Salagi voices call through time. Know your roots, let your spirit climb. Bizard speaks of beauty's way, walk in harmony every day. While Lakota thunder across the plains, earth is borrowed, not owned by chains. We are the voices of sacred lands, 22 nations, heart in hands. From Arctic ice to Amazon green, ancient wisdom in every scene. Mitakuye Oyasin, we are all one, beneath the same eternal sun. From Quechua peaks to Guarani streams, where Winnesimi carries ancient dreams. Aini flows through mountain high, reciprocity that will never die. Mapudungun echoes from the Chilean shore, children of earth and sky forevermore. While Yanomami guard the Amazon's heart, trees hold the sky, let's never part. We are the voices of sacred lands, 22 nations, heart in hands. From Arctic ice to Amazon green, ancient wisdom in every scene. Mitakuye Oyasin, we are all one, beneath the same eternal sun. Ojibwe wisdom flows like the Great Lakes wide. Anishinaabe is our guide. We borrow earth from children yet to come. Apache spirits dance with the setting sun. Choctaw kindness, Pueblo dreams, Creek Nation by the sacred streams. Muskogee knowing Lumbee strong, Inuit surviving where ice belongs. Sumakamanya, Aymaras call, living well means caring for all. Kayapo gardens of the forest deep, Shipibo patterns the cosmic secrets keep. From Waiyu deserts to Ticuna's river flow, to Welche winds where wild horses go. Oh, our voices from the forest speak. Harmony is what we seek. Hindu peoples in their sacred space show us unity in diversity's embrace. 22 nations, countless more, wisdom keepers at every shore. We are the voices of sacred lands, indigenous knowledge in healing hands. From tundra white to jungle's embrace, sacred wisdom time cannot erase. To Koporan, the good life's way, indigenous wisdom guides us today. Cherokee trees with roots so deep, Navajo beauty we will always keep. Southern brothers, Quechua song, Guarani spirit forever strong. In every language, in every prayer,
So, in every language, in every prayer, indigenous wisdom fills the air. Mapu children, earth and sky, ancient voices that will never die. With that, keep shining, everyone, and see you tomorrow for the show.